Do you have keys, or was the courthouse open, or
I've got keys.
you got keys? Um, so you don't remember who called that night and said, "Meet me"? Was that a time she's supposed to check in with you on her normal? Was it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
I can't remember.
You can't remember. She's what you said.
Yeah, I can't.
You got a low voice there.
I'm sorry.
And I'm hard to hear. I'm an old farmer. It's been around a lot of machinery. So
That came from the AG's office. That's where that's where the relationship came from. It came from Matt Easter. Those girls didn't call it a relationship. No, they didn't. That's where I said Matt Easter took what these girls said. He asked certain questions, and he's the one who said that. He's the one who framed that narrative from his very first question. So let me ask you about this relationship you had with Ben Fields. Let me ask you about the sexual relationship that you had with Ben Fields. He's the one that asked those questions. That's why I say this is intentional, and this should be criminal. Because that's not how you do. That's not what you ask somebody. The investigator it is not his place, and it is not his job to frame the entire investigation and every single interview that he does. He tainted every bit of it. He tainted it all, and he framed the narrative from the beginning. From the very beginning. I used to want to teach this stuff. Like, that's what I wanted to do whenever I was trying to get in down there with, like, at the police department. I tried to get on with Mickey at the sheriff's department. I had several letters of recommendation from big people sent to him that he just ignored. But in my mind back then, I wanted to teach people. I wanted to teach law enforcement. I wanted to straighten this all up some. No, it didn't work. Like, I wanted to be like human resources where I did the hiring. I wanted to hire people, because I felt like I had a good understanding of what competence is. Remember, I got the highest ever recorded score on the NOCD exam. That is mandatory. It's a mandatory exam that you have to take. Anybody that is graduating from an accredited, which is very important, an accredited university, community college, because for that it was an associate's degree. I had to take it for my associate's degree in law enforcement, but I got the highest ever recorded score in the nation in 2016. And the NOCTI exam, NOCTI, I don't even remember what all it stands for, but it's an acronym. But you have to take it. It's a 3-hour exam, and you have to take it right before you graduate, like the last semester that you take. And I got a 97.4 on that exam, 3-hour exam. I was so proud of that. Do you think that any of my professors down there, like, did anything special or had any kind of an acknowledgement or anything like that? No. I mean, we have a world champion archer up here at Jenkins whose mommy is the coach, but, very, very few people, other students, are archers or even welcome, because they just, focus on one. that did such great things. Well, nobody's ever acknowledged any of the stuff that I did, except for God. And I just had to get over that. But that was a really hard pill to swallow. Nobody ever acknowledged that. I thought that was such a big thing. And I thought that I would be able to use that as, I don't know, in a job. Like, I always thought that I would be such a big asset to any company or any department, any job. My knowledge and experience is just pretty awesome. But nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody cared that I got that high of a score on that test. And I guess maybe that's why it's such a pet peeve of mine, that there's absolutely zero accountability for people who hire. You know, like somebody had to look at this application or resume, and we're talking about just in general anywhere. But somebody has to look at that resume, and somebody has to do the interview. What kind of questions do they ask? I mean, I've been to a whole bunch of interviews. Some of them have been like really hard. I applied for to be a social worker one time. I didn't get past that interview. There've been many that I did do pretty well, and I got the job. But I think I'm pretty competent. I think I've got a pretty good level of competence. But now if I was hired for something that I'm not trained in, that would be the fault of whoever hired me, right? If I don't have the experience, if I don't have the qualifications, if I don't have any knowledge about, you know, if I go apply to be a baker, or if I go apply to be a dog groomer, a hairdresser, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to do good. They're going to fire me. Should see some of the haircuts I've give my poor Alan. I'm not a hairdresser. I don't know how to cut hair. My child looked like was a cancer patient. It was so bad. You know, but I wouldn't last. If you hire me to go in there and cut people's hair, and I'm cutting people's hair like I do, well, does that make any sense for the boss to keep me? Does that make any sense at all for them to keep me? And even if they try and train me on the job for something, if it's something that I need to be going to school for, heating and cooling, do they just people that are the heating and cooling license, or a welder? Does somebody who's licensed to be a welder, do they just bring somebody on and start doing it? I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe that's a bad example. But let me tell you how Whitesburg PD does stuff. Whitesburg PD, I don't know about now, but it wasn't very long ago. They would hire somebody and just hand them a firearm and say, here you go. I was told they didn't have no qualification training. They didn't have to train, make sure that they could even shoot. They just hand them a gun and say, here you go. Here's you the keys to the cruiser. Some of them ain't even had handcuffs, but they'd hand them a gun and say, here you go. The level of unprofessionalism super troopers that we have in Letcher County is just, it's laughable and it's pathetic. I mean, they really make us all look bad. I'm glad that at least we have this platform that we can kind of, I know I'm a little bit crazy, but I don't know. Ow. I feel like there's just a level, there's a difference in common sense, maybe. I don't know. I didn't used to have much common sense myself, so I don't know. Philip says, HVAC, you have to have so many hours of on-the-job experience and take 2 tests for your license. Yeah.